let's move on to the last part here, and that is the Go Big project. And
Yep.
anyone that's been by Memorial Stadium in the last couple of months, or will be going there for the spring game, you will notice cranes and you will notice buildings going up on the north side. The North Stadium project is well underway. I'm going to show a couple photos here, but Tyler, as I kind of do that, just go through it and explain to the Redcasters, what's going on, what's getting built, and where are we at kind of in the timeline.
Yeah, so it's all in all, it's a 315,000 square foot facility. And it's really, the best way I can describe it is almost like a walkout basement type of home. Okay, so the back side that is on the football field side. So right now we're looking at the front of the building. On the back side, it walks out onto the practice fields. So that's a great one, Honky, right there. So the bottom level is really the basement on the front level. Okay, so as you look at this view here, the bottom is football operations level with the weight room on the right-hand side. The middle level will be an academic center and a training table, so a student-athlete dining facility. That is available to all 650 of our student-athletes. And then the top floor is available for our football meeting spaces, coaches' offices, theater room, et cetera. Really anything and everything you would want from an operations perspective from the football team. There is also going to be the ability to expand later. So we want to make sure that as we're making this investment in this facility, it allows us to have future expansion. So some of it will be shelled out. We don't need the space right now, but who knows what it'll look like in 5 to 10 years. So the facility's original price tag was $155 million. With the current rates of inflation and material cost and labor costs, that number has actually been increased to $165 million. So our initial fundraising goal was $100 million, and we had initially phased it into two. So $80 million to get it started, which we hit really when I arrived. We were entering into phase two. We had secured $80 million. We were trying to close out that final $20 million, and then got an additional estimate to increase back up. So really we needed to raise another $30 million. Fundraising is going very well for it. We're in a very good position. In fact, we don't really have to phase it into two. Trev really wanted to make sure that we don't phase this project. We get it all done in one fell swoop. So he's been very aggressive with fundraising. He's asked our team to be very aggressive with fundraising. So a lot of people have continued to respond. So there's still some work to be done for us to be able to get there, but a lot of really positive conversations as it relates to the project. And really dissecting it out even more, some of the key features of the facility, sports medicine, weight room, anything and everything you would imagine for the football program to have to be successful and efficient with their time. So new locker room, lounges, larger team meeting spaces. Most people don't know this, but the original Osborne complex was designed for a football roster of 110. We now carry a roster of over 150. So when I say this facility is 315,000 square feet, we're not building a large facility just so we can go out on the recruiting trail and say we have the largest facility in the country. It is a byproduct of us wanting to stay true to our walk-on program and carry a larger roster. So the weight room will be able to accommodate more of our kids. It'll be larger. Locker room will be larger. Team meeting rooms will be larger. All of that was a main priority as we were designing the facility. And then really too, as we were making this enhancement, the current academic center and training table is on the west side, first floor of Memorial Stadium. Bringing that over to the east side puts it closer to the heart of City Campus. So now all of our student athletes, if they're coming from a class in the business school, they're going to be able to walk right out of the business school, walk right through lot 12, go right into the new facility, meet with an academic tutor, grab a meal, and then get right back into class. It's a more efficient location for all of our student athletes. So it will be our home for a very long time. And in the landscape of what NIL is doing with fundraising, it's possible that this could be one of the last large facilities across the country as other people are looking at what they're going to do from other schools. So we were one of the first back in the early 2000s with the Osborne complex. Since then, 62 out of the 65 schools around the country have put in Power 5, have made some level of an enhancement to an operations facility. So the Osborne complex that we currently have is great, excluding the size. So this new facility not only will enhance that by giving us a better facility, but it's also large enough to accommodate our teams. And really just to give you an idea of what we're up against as well. Purdue just opened up a new facility. That's 112,000 square feet, $62 million project.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois just did one that was 107,000 square feet. That I think it was close to 80 million. And Rutgers is working on $150 million operations facility. So
yeah, Northwestern's on Michigan there. I mean, everyone has them, right?
That's right.
And I know one of the things that I appreciate so much about how Nebraska's is currently set up and will continue to be is the proximity and the efficiency you talk about. It's the proximity. Everything's right there. You go, I think it's Michigan's. It's a couple blocks away from the stadium. Northwestern's, you're a mile or whatever away from Ryan Field is where the practice facilities are. And how Memorial Stadium is always kind of everything's been done in-house. Well, now it's that, times 100 when you have removed the track, and now it's kind of a, I don't know, land grab or whatever, but it's a big land area now that's all kind of dedicated to football. And 3 outdoor practice facilities there, the indoor one, it's great. And, Rob asking the question earlier too about the tours, I love the North Stadium entrance and everything that they have, but I've always felt it was clunky because you're walking in there and it's a working area. It's where students and coaches and stuff are walking through too, as you're trying to, look at the Heisman room. And while for a fan, that's great, I'm sure that's not always conducive for, the people that are in there. It's a working facility. And so to have some dedicated areas that can be for fans and dedicated areas for the people that are there doing their jobs, I can see how that can be beneficial to all. What happens to the North Stadium, like the current facilities there? Has that been decided yet? Like the current weight room, do you know what that's going to be changed over to?
That's a part of really what is pushing us to do the survey is the entire west side of the stadium where the academic center is and training table is. That will all move to the new facility. And then the first floor and second floor of North Stadium are all football centric. So all those are moving to the new facility. So we have a lot of square feet that we've got to repurpose and redesign. And so now we're trying to figure out, do those stay as operational spaces or do we then convert those into fan-facing spaces? So while we have vacated a lot of square feet, that's really the most important decision for us to make. And Trev really wants to have a long-term master plan, whether that includes facilities or not, just a strategic vision for where we're going. And Memorial Stadium, I would say, is a main priority when it comes to that.
What remind me again of what the completion date is for that? And a question that Hunky may have been leading up to, I don't know, but it's popped into my head, so I'm going to ask it. How is this affecting recruiting? Like, are you involved in any way around that and seeing how that's bringing in players like Casey Thompson and Chubba Purdy and some of these other big names that we're getting like DeColdest, like coming in, seeing that we're building this? Are these things going to be completed in their time there? Or?
Yeah, so the projected timeline right now is for us to get keys to the building in August of 2023. Construction is going well, so we're on a good timeline right now to be able to meet that threshold or meet that deadline. And as it relates to recruiting, I can't directly speak to it, but I would suspect that from where I sit and really what I tell a lot of people is development is and will always be a very important factor when it comes to recruiting. Facilities are how we get or how we develop our kids, how we keep them safe, how we keep them healthy, and how we build successful programs. So I think when any kid looks around the country and views the investment that the University of Nebraska makes in every piece of their student-athlete experience, it's obvious that we're one of the top programs when it comes to every portion of what they will touch. The training table is exceptional. You're going to get state-of-the-art technology when it comes to sports medicine to not only keep you healthy from a preventative care, but also rehabilitation. The weight room is state-of-the-art. Our history is obviously littered with us being one of the first schools when it comes to the birthplace of strength and conditioning. We have a sports laboratory that we're doing a lot of sports science in. So in our history, we have always been dedicated to putting money back into infrastructure, and I think we always will continue to put money back into infrastructure.
Yeah, when Honky and I came last time, we walked through a section. I think we were able to view some of it. And we walked through a section where that sports laboratory was, and he was like pointing out to me, like, this is where they come and they stick all those balls on the athletes and they like make them do all these different moves and record them. And that was really cool just to see it right there inside the actual stadium itself, like as part of it. So it's kind of like the athletes are experiencing that all along. I never
and then security came and shoot us away. But I mean, that's a whole separate story.
Yeah, it's okay, man. The scars from the handcuffs are finally starting to heal. So,
well, if you come to the spring game, you won't be shooed away from security. I'll walk you through there.
Yeah.
I've got access. You don't.
Have to you know, be careful what you offer me because I am that guy. Okay, I
really is.
Like I will.
You may be tasing him yourself.
I will literally be FaceTiming you on I-70, I-80 on my drive out there. Like, hey man, I'm gonna be there around 4. What you up to, man? Can I buy you a beer? Let's go on that tour.